Welcome back to the deep dive. This is where we tear through the specification sheet so you don't have to. Today, we're drilling down into the Datavideo PTC-285. It's a 4K auto-tracking PTZ camera. Our mission is really to unpack what makes this camera more than just a lens. We want to see why it's a workhorse for places like, broadcast studios, houses of worship, that kind of thing.
And what's fascinating right from the start is the foundation they built on. I mean, before you even get to the smart stuff.
The core specs.
Exactly. You're starting with true UHD 4K resolution, 2160p 60. That's all coming from a really solid 12.8-inch CMOS sensor.
And you've got zoom to back that up.
A lot of it. 12x optical, which is key, and then it's paired with 16x digital. So that's really the engine that's powering everything else.
Okay, so that brings us to what I think is the real differentiator here. The AI auto-tracking. This basically means you don't need a dedicated camera operator, right?
In theory, yes.
Yeah.
But the real question is how it handles, interference.
Right. What happens when someone walks in front of the lens to grab a coffee?
And that's the biggest challenge in automated production. It's all about precision. The system lets you designate a single person for tracking.
Just one person?
One person. So it locks on and it ignores the visual noise. It won't get distracted. That's absolutely critical in a live setting.
Okay, but automation can be jerky. You see that choppy video when someone moves suddenly? The spec sheet mentions something called smart PTZ speed adaptation. Is that the system that keeps the movement looking polished?
That's the one. It's driven by an integrated PID algorithm.
A PID algorithm?
Yeah, a proportional integral derivative controller.
Yeah.
But in simple terms, the camera is constantly predicting the subject's next move.
So it's not just reacting, it's anticipating.
Exactly. It's predictive smoothing. It allows the camera to go from this super slow, deliberate creep to a really rapid adjustment without that jarring start-stop motion we all hate.
And the range is pretty wide on that.
It's huge. The pan can range 300 degrees and the tilt 145 degrees, all with that fluid, broadcast quality motion.
So one technician could manage multiple cameras.
Well, easily. One tech could manage 3 of these remotely, and it would look completely seamless.
That's a massive win. Now, before we get to signal routing, what about low light? Stage lighting can be tricky.
It holds up surprisingly well. It uses an advanced 3D noise reduction technology, so it maintains sharpness even when the lights get really dim. We're talking down to 0.5 lux.
Okay, so we've got a clean, sharp, smoothly tracked image. The next question is, where can we send it? And how many places at once?
And this is where the workflow flexibility comes in.
The camera has simultaneous outputs. Active HDMI 2.0 for 4K, 3G-SDI for 1080p 60, and IP output, all at the same time.
All at once. And if you think about hybrid production, that networking is immense. It supports RTSP and RTMPS protocols.
So for our listeners, what does that practically mean?
It means you can stream straight to platforms like YouTube or Facebook directly. No external encoder needed. It just handles H.stretch 264, H.Dot 265, all of it.
And the installation simplicity seems like the bow on top. It supports POB 802.3 ACAF.
And that is the practical genius of the design.
Just one cable.
One single Cat6 cable. For power, for control, and for video. You get to eliminate all those bulky power bricks and complex cable runs.
It's a huge time saver. And on the control side, you have 255 presets, and it speaks all the standard languages, VSCA over IP, DVIP.
Plus the tally lights, green and red, so it fits right into a standard broadcast workflow.
So if you had to synthesize all of this, what's the big picture?
I mean, the PTC-285 is really defined by that integration. It's high-res 4K video, plus that sophisticated PID-driven automated motion, and then this serious multi-platform output flexibility. It's incredibly adaptable.
So here's a final thought for you to chew on. When you combine this kind of elegant single-cable PoE installation with a really robust AI tracking system, how dramatically will that change the demands on technicians? Will we see fewer camera operators on the floor, but maybe more high-level centralized control staff running the whole show from a single room? Something to think about for your next production.